Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to line the bag, because in my previous tutorial, I told you when I made the bag, the crochet bag, I told you I was going to show you how to line it. So we line our bag and we actually added a pocket to our lining. Yeah, it's a nice big pocket and I like it how it came out. Came out really nice. There you go. And with the lining for the pocket, I wanted the pocket to be that when you look inside the bag, you don't see the wrong side of the fabric. I wanted it to have a complete flow with the fabric of the right side showing. So I went over to my mom. I'm so happy she lives close by, so I could go pick her brain with it. And she showed me, because I am not a seamstress. I just showed you how I do my lining of my bag and how it's done. Because she was able to help me, direct me, and tell me how to do it. These are supplies you're going to be using to line our bag. Our fabric we're going to be using is 100% cotton. The size of it is 18 inches by 21 inches. That's our fabric. And we're going to be using sewing thread. And with the sewing thread, I try to get it to match up as closely as we can to our fabric and our bag. We're going to be using sewing pins, a few of them. We're going to be using the sewing needle. We're going to be using a tape measure. If you don't have a tape measure, a ruler will do fine. If you don't need them, it's all up to you, but I put it in the supply. And also too, we're going to be using scissors. Also, additional supplies that I'm not showing you that we're going to be using is an iron board, and a sewing machine. You can do what we're going to do here by hand, but I'm going to just use my little sewing machine. It's not professional. It's just a little sewing machine. I'm not going to show you how to actually use it in this tutorial, because with the sewing machine, they come with wonderful instruction in how to do it, and that's it. But again, whatever we're doing, you could do by hand. And of course, I didn't put this in the supply we need, but we need our bag to actually line it. So this is part of our supply too. So the first thing we're going to work with is our fabric. So go ahead and just open it up, and then we move on. So now we open it. What you need to do is just fold it in half, because we're going to measure it to our bag and we're going to cut it. So when I fold it, I'm going to have the bottom of the bag will be here on the fold. And of course, I'm going to use this part of our lining as the opening of our bag. Now to measure out what we need for our bag, you take your bag and lay it on top of the fabric that we fold in half. Remember, we have it in half. And we're going to cut from the bottom up. And of course, you make sure that you have it. See, the fabric is underneath and our bag is there. And you're just going to cut one side, and that's all we need. We're going to start from the bottom up. So go ahead and cut up like a 1/2 inch next to the bag. So I went ahead and I cut off the fabric to match our bag. Now for the pocket, what we need to do, the same thing like we did when we did the lining for the bag, we double it over. So double it over and then center it, and I'm going to do a little over 5.5 inches, and I'm going to cut it, and that's what we're going to use for our pocket. Why I double the pocket when we cut it and when we're going to sew it, I don't want the wrong side of the fabric to show in the bag. That's just me, how I like it. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it 1/2 inch on this side, and we're going to fold it 1/2 inch on this side, and I'm going to press it, and then I come back and I'll show you. And this is how we look when we fold it 1/2 inch on both sides and we press it. And now go ahead and fold it back in half, so we have the right side showing on the back and the right side showing on the front. Now we need to sew our little pocket that we have to our right side of our fabric for the lining. And for you to see the measurement of my pocket, how I have it right now, from the top opening of our pocket to the bottom right now is 5.5 inches, and across it's like 7 inches. So now all we're going to do is we're going to pin it, because I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So this is the bottom of my bag here, the lining, and then the pocket. I'm going to pull it about 1.5 inches from the bottom of the bag. Then I'm going to pin it, because I want to show you how we're going to sew it. And when we pin it, you just pin it through one layer of the fabric, okay? And two, when I pin it up, I'm trying to keep it as even as I can to both ends of our bag lining. So this is the way we're going to sew the pocket to our lining here across, and then we're going to flip it like this. So that's why I'm trying to get it to have it that when we put our hand in the bag, everything is nice and straight. And this would be the bottom of our bag, and this would be basically the center of our bag and the bag opening.
Make sure to keep your stitches as closer to the bottom of the pocket as you can.
So this is how I look when I finish doing the bottom of our pocket. And we flip it up, and now we're going to sew on the sides. To help me so that when I sew around the edge of the pocket, I'm going to put my sewing pins in to help guide me. I went ahead and I pinned up the sides, because we're going to sew around the side to close up our pocket. And of course you leave the opening of our pocket unsewn. When you get to the end here and to the end here, just sew an extra little piece like across here. And why you do that is when you do sew it like a little V over it, it helps hold it together so that when you push your hand in and out of the pocket, it stays and it doesn't come undone. And also too, when you're sewing, try to keep it as close to the edge as you can, like when we did the bottom part of our pocket. So go ahead and sew it up, and then we meet back up. So yeah, I finally put on my pocket. There we go. And this is how outside look. Now what's left for us to do is to sew up the edges of our lining. And when we sew up, we want to just give it a little curve before we get to the top. So when you come up the edge of the bag, and then you just go like here. And this will make it to shape out our size of the opening of our bag. When you sew up too, you don't sew all the way up, because we're going to use a 1/2 inch turn down inside our bag, and that's what we're going to attach to the bag. So you could stop right here. Of course, we're sewing on the wrong side of the lining. Remember too, if you need help to guide you to keep it straight, everything nice and neat, use the sewing pins to keep it straight. So put them in and line them up, and then you take them out as you work, of course. Now I finished sewing up my edge of my lining for my bag. Now the next step is we need to sew at the bottom of our bag, here and here, in order for it to lay flat inside our bag. So what we're going to do is you're going to take it, open it up, and then you put your finger in the bottom, and then what you're going to do is turn it, and then you're going to do this for both sides. You just sew across here, like a 1/2 inch across, or a little more than 1/2 inch. I went ahead and did the little corners, sew them up, and when you do that, see inside, try my best to show you, it lays, you can see it looks flat in there, but the most important thing is when you do it, you see it and it works, okay? So don't worry, just wanted to see if I could get in the tutorial and it helps you. So that's how we look when we do the bottom. Now the next step, what we're going to do is take your bag and turn it inside out, because what we want to do is we want to take this little part that we sewed, we want to attach it inside the bag so that when we pull our hands in or out or get anything from inside our bag, the lining doesn't come out. So that's our next step. So go ahead and turn your bag inside out. So I went ahead and turned my bag on the wrong side, inside out. So now we're going to attach here and here to the bottom of our bag, because we got to flip everything back to the correct side. So attach it here, And of course, here is, I stopped using my sewing machine. Now we're doing by hand. Okay, and we're going to do the regular sewing method. I'm just going to use, of course, the sewing needle and the color thread that we've been using to match everything up. And then you just tack it. Use the regular sewing method, not the machine. My machine was giving me a lot of trouble today. But anyway, so go ahead and just tack it a little bit so it stays. And how I have my bag, this is the bottom of my bag, and this is the bottom of my lining. And that's where I have, okay? So that's the top of my bag is here, and the top of the lining is up here. I have my thread, and I give it a couple knots, and of course I have the thread double now. It's not single, so we have it double, all right? The thread is double. So I did that, and I think it felt comfortable enough that it will stay there. So what I did also too, I went ahead and I flipped everything back to the right side. So this is how we look when we flip it back. Here goes our pocket. We're doing great. So the only thing left for us to do is to turn down the lining inside, and everything is on the right side. We see it, and we're gonna put our sewing pins around so that it would stay, so that when we come around to attach it. And for here where our bag handle is, we're going to put it lower than the bag handle. Of course, when we attach it, we're going to go to the single crochet down here. Okay, we're not going to attach it up here to the bag handle. We're going to go right underneath. So go ahead, turn your bag inside out, shape it out, put your pins in to help guide you, and that's all that's left to do is to tack it inside. So I'll meet you back when we do that, when we straighten up everything, get it nice. So remember, I didn't double it when I'm sewing with the thread, all right? And I put 2 knots at the end of our tail. I'm going to pick over here at this corner to start. You could pick any corner you want to. I want to hide the tail of the thread that I have, so I'm going to go into the bag itself, the crochet bag first, and just pull up on it. Just go through it like that. So now that tail is attached there. I'm going to try to put it inside the bag so it doesn't show. And then how we're going to do it, I'm going to try my best to work with it and do the tutorial. We're just going to pick up a little part of the fabric, the top edge of the fabric, just a little piece. Then you go back to like where we first put that, when we first anchor our thread. So we go ahead and pick up some more of the fabric, just the top layer of it. And then go back over the crochet piece of the bag, and then you pull up some of that yarn right there. And that's all we're going to do with it. We're trying to hide our stitches and make it look nice, and as we connect the bag, the lining, it stays secure as we work. And of course, you know, as you work, you take out your pins that we put in. So I'm trying not to pick up a whole lot of fabric, but just the top layer of the fabric. Take that out the way. And then go back over to the bag itself, the crochet bag. So I made it back around to where I started from. So now all I need to do is to do a couple knots in my thread, and I'm going to cut off this, and that's it. I'm going to take my sewing needle, go behind the lining and inside by the crochet bag. I'm just going to come out to the bottom here and hide my tail that way off my thread, cut it off, and that's it. We are finished. So this is how I look when I finish attaching my lining to my bag. And when I finish sewing it up, this is how I look. I think it came out pretty nice. We did awesome work. And of course we have our pocket. We have a nice big pocket, and I have it the way I want it to have it. That when you look inside the bag, the wrong side of the fabric is not showing. I like it that way. That's how I wanted to get it. And I want to thank my mom for helping me with the pocket, because she showed me how to do it so that I could get the right side of the fabric to show. So thank you, Mom. Just give you a little, I should do a tutorial with my mom. I should just videotape her all what she knows how to do. Some people refer to her, I guess, like old school. She knows how to do everything. When I say everything in the sense of she knows how to do carpentry, she knows how to do upholstery, she knows how to sew. She went to school actually for cake decorating. So thank you, Mom, for helping me to show me this. That's it. We're all finished. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye-bye.